Yeah.
Get them warm.
Heat broken?
Come again?
Heat broken?
Have some problems with it.
We're working on it.
Part of the budget.
Sorry about the
Part of the budget time.
Yeah.
Budget
cuts.
That we could accept, but the cold is something else.
Just keep lighting the Constitution on fire, we'll be all set, don't worry about it. You what?
Can't play with matches.
Yeah, that will be it.
All right, I'll record it now in session.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you. Please be seated. Good morning.
Do I sit here or what's going on?
Come on up, sir. Are you Frank Staples?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Then you can come on up and have a seat.
Thank you.
All right, and I apologize for the temperature. They are working on it. Apparently, it's 59 degrees of air, and they're working on it to get it warmer for us. So with that, I do apologize. Let's get started. We have 3 matters on this morning for Mr. Staples. Dockets number 435, 2021 CR 240, 2021 CR 239, and 2021 CR 46, State versus Frank Staples. We're scheduled this morning for trial on all of those matters. They include 2 violations of town ordinance, as well as a disorderly conduct. Attorney DeCroce, are you ready to proceed?
We are, Your Honor.
We're gonna do them all at once.
Yeah, that's generally how we'll do it. I've
All
got
right.
this time set aside, right? Attorney DeCroce, you're planning that, you know, we're gonna hear testimony on all, or do you wanna start one at a time?
If you do one at a time, I'd like to do them in order.
Okay.
Chronological order.
That's fine.
Well, no, the 8:15 scheduled one is the
Yeah, well, that sucks.
January 31st. And I
Okay.
have a different witness for the 9:15 one,
Okay,
so.
we're proceeding on the first docketed matter, which is the January
So we're
31st.
gonna go backwards in time.
Yes. And that's who you have for your witnesses?
Yep.
Okay, all right, so with that, let's address that. And you understand, let's see, Mr. Staples, you're here, you're representing yourself, you are ready to proceed. And in the ordinary course, you understand the state's burden to prove each and every element of the offense beyond a reasonable doubt. After we hear the testimony of the witnesses, you're entitled to cross-examine those witnesses, which are questions specific to their testimony, which is different than your testimony if you choose to either call witnesses or testify, okay? Any questions?
No.
All right. Attorney DeCroce, you may call your first witness.
We're on the city call Cindy Feenstra. Let's go. I'm gonna go stand by that chair up there and raise your right hand. Swear to the testimony of the witness proceeding with the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir.
That's it. Could you say your name, please, and spell your last name for the record?
Cindy Feenstra, F like Frank, E-E-N-S-T-R-A.
And where do you live?
I live at 72 Hemlock Court in Newfield, New Hampshire.
How long have you lived there?
Almost 25 years.
And on January 31st of this year, at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, were you home?
Yes, I was.
And did anything happen around that time that you recall?
Yes, it did.
What happened?
As normal Sundays, a group of protesters would come always around between 2 and 4, and same as all of the other visits. A group of protesters started walking up the path from the country store, which goes right in front of my kitchen window. I think it was around 2 or 2:15. In the afternoon, it was a small group, maybe 10 or 12 people, I'm not sure. And were yelling and right away proceeded to the circle, which is directly in front of my house, and just started ranting and raving and shouting, which was normal. This time it seemed to be a little bit more escalated. My family was home as we normally were on a Sunday.
And how long did this go on for?
I don't know, maybe 35 or 40 minutes, an hour.
Okay. Could you hear what they were saying?
Oh, yes.
What were they saying?
It was just, I mean, angry. It was anger. It was directed towards the governor, angry about the mask mandate, angry about all kinds of things, First Amendment rights, and it's just ranting and raving and shouting and agitation and aggression.
Were they using any words which you found were offensive?
Yeah. I mean, I've had obscenities shouted at me, and I mean, that particular day, the ranting and raving was, I think he called the governor a child molester or a safe haven for child molester, and it was just all kinds of random rants and raves.
Why were they yelling stuff about the governor on your street?
I mean, I suppose their intention was for the governor to hear, which I'm assuming he was never even home. It was us that was home. I was in a pandemic with a sick family and a sick mother that I was caring for, so we didn't leave our house.
Do you know where the governor lives?
He lives right next door to me.
Is that 71 Hemlock Court?
Yeah, so there's a little path that separates our house. So my kitchen window sees the path. So whenever there's people congregating or walking up and down the path, essentially it's my kitchen. That's my house. The governor's house is on the other side. When you walk up to the circle, that's also in front of my house. So there's only 3 houses at the end of the cul-de-sac. There's the Droskys, the Snoons, and then there's us.
All right. And do you have a doorbell camera that records?
We do.
Was it working that day?
It was.
Did you record what was going on outside?
We did. My son did. My son's room is directly above the garage. Both my boys have rooms above the front of the house on the top floor.
Okay. And it actually has pictures too.
It does.
Now, recognize that?
I do.
What is that?
My driveway.
And what is it a picture of? Is that the cul-de-sac you're talking
Yeah,
about, the circle?
this is the path. That the governor's house is there. This is my house. This is my boys' cars. And that's the circle. That's my mailbox.
Okay.
This is my yard. This is my yard.
All right. And you recorded 3 different recordings on the 31st?
My son did, yes.
Your son did. Okay. So they're at the cul-de-sac and you can hear them in your house?
Yeah, my camera's probably right above his car.
Okay.
Council, are you going to lay the foundation and then offer it, or are you, I'm not looking at this time because you haven't, I understand you're laying a foundation of what she recognizes, and then I expect.
This is what you recorded on your
That's
camera
correct.
phone?
Yes.
3 different recordings?
Yeah, there's 3 different.
Does this accurately depict what you recorded
Yes,
that day?
exactly.
Okay.
This is what it did.
Play it again.
What it did.
Could you see who was talking?
If I was to look out the window, I could. That particular day, somebody was in the road filming, and whoever was yelling was coming in and out of the circle, in the road, out of the road, back to the circle.
Okay. And you recorded 2 other times? of
It's
this
just 3
individual?
different clips of the same
Okay.
day.
And does this accurately depict when you recorded that day?
Yes.
Okay. Is this the Same person talking stuff?
Yes.
And again, this is an accurate depiction of what
Yeah.
you reported and sent to the
Yep.
police department?
It is. Let's check.
Okay. And did you do anything about the noise?
When the noise started, I called the Newfield police with a noise complaint, and that was all that my ever complaint was. I mean, I've lived in town for 25 years, I've never called the Newfield PD for anything. But when the protesters started coming, the disruption was out of control. And all I wanted, I mean, if it was a peaceful protest in front of my house, that's fine, but that's not what it was.
All right. And how did this make you and your family feel with them out there?
I mean, we were concerned. I didn't know who was carrying weapons and who wasn't. I was understood there was, somebody was arrested prior with a weapon. Why do you need to come to Hemlock Court with any sort of firearms? I don't know what their intention was, but they sounded angry. And as I mentioned, I was home caring for my terminal mother, and I had 3 people in my household that had just recovered from COVID, and it's Sunday, we're home as a family.
Is it fair to say that it disturbed you and your family?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Nothing else?
Counsel, before you cross-examine, I guess I just want to be clear on, you showed her the video, you laid the foundation. Has Mr. Staples seen a copy of the video? Are you offering it?
We will be offering it. Yes, he has. Well, his old attorney got a copy of it. I don't know.
Okay,
if
but
he's
even
full.
today-
I requested a full copy of all the video from their security, but they just provided these little clips, and he's never responded back to my email asking for full discovery.
Okay, but what he's offering right now is...
It's fine, it is what it
Okay,
is.
all right. So
Am I gonna be able to enter in my videos as well?
Well, we'll see when it's your turn and you go to offer what you have.
I don't have a laptop and stuff like
That's all right.
that.
I mean, we'll get there. But you have it on a drive?
I have it on a
or you
drive,
gonna-
yes.
Are you offering it, is I guess what I'm asking.
Those 3 clips now, but then
Yeah.
there's more clips on
Okay.
there with
All right,
other
so-
witnesses.
Why are they clips is what I'm wondering. Why isn't there a full video of the whole day?
Our understanding it's from the Ring doorbell or the
We
Nest.
never, we never saved full video. We took
Right, you didn't
clips
say
of
took full
that day
video.
just so that,
So you edited it.
well, it's not edited, they're
Well,
just little.
let's not argue with it, man.
Okay, all right.
They're
So,
clips, they're edited.
Sure. It's
and
all
this
we have.
wit, all right, so you're done with your
Yes.
testimony, cross-exam for this witness.
Sure. So you said that it was more escalated than usual. What made it more escalated than
The
usual?
shouting, the ranting, the.
They'd never shouted before?
No, it was
What
always
about-
shouting.
Okay, hold on a second. Just give her an opportunity to answer, and then you
Sure.
go on with your next question, okay?
The shouting and the yelling?
Seemed escalated, and from the point that you arrived, from every minute that you were out in the circle, it got louder, and you seemed more agitated and more,
So my voice got louder?
it was, yeah. It was
And,
loud from when you showed up, and that's when I called.
and you said there was a lot of protests out there before?
Yeah, I feel like their protesters came regularly right around Thanksgiving all the way up until this point and still coming.
Sure, and was there ever amplified sound out there?
In the beginning, there was megaphones and that sort of thing, and then when that stopped, it got a little bit better. But on January 31st, you heard the yelling, that's what I hear from my home.
Sure, so was it louder than the megaphones and the amplified sound?
It's comparable, I would say. I mean, you heard
Comparable.
it.
Interesting. So you said it went on for 45 minutes to an hour?
I mean, I didn't time it, but that's my recollection of it, generally speaking, from when I have to leave to go to my mom's house in Elliott to care for her. I couldn't get out of my driveway that day.
And what was particularly offensive besides the loudness?
They're ranting, they're raving, you can't leave my house, my dog barks constantly, it's Sunday afternoon. I mean, I generally would walk in the woods, when you're in a circle in front of my house and you're on the path next to my house, I have nowhere to go except in my house.
Okay, thank you. And what wasn't peaceful?
The yelling and the shouting and the ranting and the raving.
The shouting and the yelling, so no violence, no threats of violence?
Not that I saw.
Okay. Are you aware of the 45-minute conversation that we had with your husband when he had COVID?
I don't object to relevance.
Okay.
Peaceful
Hold on,
interactions
hold on,
with
hold on.
the neighbors.
Before she answers, just tell me what's the relevance of that question?
The relevance is to show that we were peaceful and talking and interacting with the neighbors, her own husband for that matter. And I have a 45-minute
So
video.
if she's aware of it, I think she can at least answer the question and it goes
Well,
to.
yeah,
On this particular day, we need to know whether he's talking about this particular
Okay,
day.
Yeah,
or
that's a fair question.
No,
What,
but
are you,
I-
So,
are you referencing the January 31st date? Is your question?
No, this was prior to
Okay.
that date.
All right, so,
Correct.
much
not
problem.
relevant.
okay, so that's not relevant necessarily to this. All right, go ahead, your other question, sir?
And how many other people were there being loud? Because it says that you said there was other people in this police report. There was other people, right? There's other protesters there.
Mhm. Well, I don't know.
How many approximately?
I mean, I would say 10 to 12.
10 to 12?
Yeah, it's a guess, I don't remember exactly, it was always different.
Okay. Well, this time, this day.
I would say 10 to 12 is my best recollection.
Okay. And did you see myself get arrested?
Yes,
And when did the Newfields police come and talk to you? You were the reporting party?
when did they come talk to me?
Before or after my arrest?
I don't believe anybody came and talked to
They
me.
never came and talked to you once.
They, yeah, I mean, they took my phone call.
Right. But then when they came on scene, they never went and talked to you, correct?
No,
Right. Even after, because after I was arrested and,
I left for my mom's as soon as I was able to get out of my driveway.
interesting. Okay. Thank you, that's all.
Okay, any redirect?
There you are.
Thank you, you can step down. Can this witness be excused?
Please.
You don't intend to call her in your case and she can be excused, sir?
Yeah, no, she's fine.
Okay, all right, thank you. Thank you for coming today. Next witness?
Same call, Officer Schwartz.
Good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Raise your right hand. Swear affirm testimony about the given this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Proceed. State your name, please. Spell your last name for the court record.
Michael Schwartz, SCHWARTZ.
And are you a officer of the Newfields Police Department?
Yes,
How long have you been with the Newfields Police Department?
since 2015.
And were you on duty on January 31st of this year?
Yes, sir, I was.
And at some point, about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, did you get a call to go down to Hemlock Court?
Yes, it is.
What was that?
It was a noise complaint. Well, I was notified by our dispatch that there had been a noise complaint on Hemlock Court. I briefed Chief Liebenow, and he told me to respond down there.
Okay. So who'd you go down there? Did you go down with anybody else?
I went with Officer Serene.
And what happened? When you got there, what did you see?
Well, I saw about, I don't know, probably 15 or so people. It's a cul-de-sac, 15 people in the road in the cul-de-sac. Most of them were holding signs, a couple of feet by a couple of feet or so. Officer Strand, who had been to similar calls, pointed out the defendant, Mr. Staples. And there was some shouting, and I could hear see, Mr. Staples was clearly, to me, the person coordinating things there. At one point, he told people that they were going to start singing COVID carols there. I took a position behind the cruiser, probably 150 feet away, and Mr. Staples came up to me and asked what was going on, why I was there. And I explained to him that I was there in response to a noise complaint. And I asked him to lower his voice. And he said he couldn't lower his voice, he couldn't modulate the volume of his voice because of a previous head injury, as he explained.
The person you were talking to was he on the road, right?
Yes, the defendant, sitting
You know,
right,
his name is?
Frank Staples.
Frank, would like to identify the defendant as Frank Staples. So,
I'm sorry.
you told him to lower his voice.
I asked him to lower his voice several times. He said he wouldn't and couldn't be told to do that. Again, saying he had a head injury. I explained more than once that I was there in response to a noise complaint. He needed to lower his voice. He went back to the crowd. Again, tried to get people to sing COVID carols. And they were raising their voices as well. And he was issued a summons for the disorderly conduct, which I think he brought back to the group, said we're all getting tickets. But the volume continued. The shouting, the singing, and so I told him that if he continued on, he'd be arrested again for the disorderly conduct. And he continued on, so he was arrested.
For what?
Disorderly conduct.
Okay. And there's also a town ordinance that was in effect on this day?
Yes, yes.
Okay, did you cite him for that as well?
I believe Officer Strand issued him a summons for that.
Okay, you didn't do that.
I did not.
Okay. So, was there any problem?
If I can look at my notes briefly, I'm not sure. It might have been me
Sure.
that put my name on that, if you don't mind. Yes, it was actually the town ordinance that you received the summons for. I'm not sure whose name is on the bottom of the summons, if it's mine or Officer Strand's.
Okay. So you got the summons for
For the town ordinance,
first,
yes,
and then
disorderly conduct for continuing on.
Okay. Was the arrest peaceful? Did he go without any problems?
Certainly wasn't the, there was no violence involved in the arrest, so I would say it was relatively peaceful.
Okay. And why did he get a town ordinance?
There's an ordinance prohibiting picketing, which certainly met the definition of what was going on there with the signage and things like that, and what was going on.
Okay. Can I approach the witness, Ron?
Yes.
A copy of the ordinance. I have a copy. Can I show you the town ordinance? Recognize that?
Yes.
What is that?
It's an ordinance for the town of Newfield prohibiting anybody from picketing before or about the residence of a dwelling of any individual in the town of Newfield.
So it's meant to
Prevent people from picketing
targeting individual homes.
individual homes, yes.
Oh. How does the states? What?
Any objection?
No.
Will be states one, admitted. Okay, cross-exam.
Yes. Okay. So, when you showed up on scene, you said there was 15 or so protesters with signs?
If I can refer to my notes, yeah, about 15 people.
Okay. And did you see me with the sign? Do you recall?
I don't recall if you had a sign. I don't, not that I recall. I remember you wearing a long black jacket. I don't remember you having a
Sign.
sign.
And so, when did you go talk to the calling party?
If I can refer to my notes. No, I don't recall ever having any direct conversation. Again, this is a call that came through our dispatch center.
Sure. So why didn't you go talk to the calling party when you got there on scene?
Well, we don't typically do that because I don't know if this person is right there in the vicinity, but I wouldn't necessarily want a group of people that are upset to know that this is the person that called. So out of that person's safety.
Wouldn't you normally go and talk to the calling party to get a report of the details of the call?
It depends on the situation, not in this situation.
Why not in this situation?
As I just explained, I wouldn't want to compromise that person's safety.
Safety. Okay. And forgive me because my stuff is all out of order here and I do have head trauma. You said at first that you issued the summons for disorderly conduct, and then I walked over to show it to the people, and then you told me I had to leave, and then I came back, which is completely false. I have the video to prove it. And then you retracted that and said that you issued a ticket, and you weren't even sure if you wrote it, correct?
I wasn't sure if my name was on it or Officer Strand's.
Correct. Why wouldn't you be sure?
I guess I don't have a reason for that other than it doesn't matter which officer's name is on the bottom of it.
Okay, so why did you start talking to the state police on the scene when you first got there?
See what input they had.
What input did they have?
I don't recall anything. I don't know as I received any new information from them, not that I recall, sir.
No new information from them, so they didn't add any, danger or non-peaceful, they were being non-peaceful, they're dangerous, they're threatening or anything like that? And how many, so did they report anything like that? Threats, danger, violence?
Not that I recall.
How many state troopers were there?
I would estimate probably 10 or so. I didn't.
10 or so troopers?
I don't have a specific number. My recollection is it's not something that I would, need to document.
And are state police allowed to enforce the town ordinance?
I believe so.
You don't object to relevance.
The relevance goes to the original one where the state police are the ones who gave out the first tickets. So that's the relevance. And why wouldn't they enforce the town ordinance if we're picketing outside and they can enforce the town ordinance? That's the relevance. Pretty relevant?
As opposed for what happened with this individual, he's not claiming, we already said we gave him the ticket. So I'm not sure what the
Right,
relevance is.
so I understand your question, but the relevance to you,
Is that we're doing all three of these things at once? So the original ticket,
yep, go ahead.
the original ticket, I have two tickets, I'm the
Here's
only one with
December
two
28th.
tickets, yep.
Okay,
That was given by state police. and they were given guidance by the AG on how to enforce this picketing ordinance. So I'm wondering why they didn't enforce the ordinance while there's 10 of them standing out there.
Okay, so,
And how could this, like, how could this lady feel unsafe with 10 troopers out there? It's all bogus. This is all lies and you can't remember anything. We're gonna see the video, don't worry.
okay, so, Attorney DeCroce, I'm not, I think his question has relevance with respect to the first ticket, which were, the first summons, which we're not at this point.
Except, Your Honor, I have a copy of the first summons. It was given out by a Newfields police officer, not a state trooper.
Well, it was the state trooper that talked to me about it.
Okay, so, but in
Whatever.
any event, that's more, I think, a legal argument as opposed to.
Sure, and it'll go into the memorandum after this, yeah, for sure. So
Are
I'm
you gonna
building
ask
that.
me to have time for a memo, because you haven't done one? We'll talk about that housekeeping after, okay?
Yeah, sure, I'm not a professional, I don't know what I'm doing, I have head trauma, I'm doing the best that I can do here.
Let's finish up and see if you have any other questions for this witness.
So what was my last question? Sorry. Oh, can the state police enforce the town ordinance?
Yeah, let's move on from that.
So, do you have a copy of the picketing thing in front of you?
I don't
There
think
you go, right, the judge goes.
Oh, thank you.
So, it is unlawful for any person to engage in picketing before or about the residence or the dwelling of any individual in the town of Newfields. Does this town ordinance apply to town buildings and public officials?
Well, a town building would not be a residence or a dwelling, so I would answer, my interpretation would be no as far as that part. As far as an individual, if, what was the second part of the question, sir?
So what about a public official?
Public official.
Are they protected by this town ordinance?
I would interpret this as yes, they would be. In their residence, residence or dwelling, I would interpret that.
And what is to engage in picketing?
Well, I would,
I'll remind you, I already asked you on video, we have that.
sure, holding signage,
Holding signage, and anything else, just holding signage?
protesting,
What is protesting? That's very vague in general. What does protesting mean? What are some elements of it?
taking issue with a law or a rule or an issue. By
So exercising our First
showing
Amendment rights?
Sorry, sir?
Exercising First Amendment rights would be considered protesting?
I don't have an opinion on that.
Okay. So, did you receive the same guidance from the AG as the state troopers? Are you aware on how to enforce this?
I have never had any direct input from the Attorney General's office regarding this. I was briefed on this by my chief.
Oh, the chief. So what did the chief tell you? Did he tell you how to enforce this?
He did, yeah.
And what did he tell you how to enforce it?
He said this is the ordinance, it's been cleared by the Attorney General's office, and, this is what the town has chosen to do, is develop this ordinance, so.
Why? Why did they develop that ordinance?
That I don't know.
Finish his answer.
Okay,
Okay,
so,
sorry.
yeah.
So what was the question again, sir? I'm sorry.
I can't remember.
You said why?
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
His question was.
Oh, the second question?
Told about it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
The ordinance.
And I think he answered that, and the
Okay.
question was,
Okay, I'm
why
getting
did they
confused
develop
here.
the ordinance?
So, why was this ordinance created?
I don't have an answer for that, sir.
You don't have an answer for that.
Well, I wasn't part of it, I wasn't,
Where does this ordinance get its power from?
I don't object, that's a legal
Okay,
question.
so I do think a lot of what you're asking are
Okay.
for legal conclusions and they're issues of law,
All
different
right,
than.
so we'll get back to the elements of picketing. So you're saying signage is one of the elements of picketing? And protesting,
Yeah, chanting, I would think.
chanting. So why isn't this in the ordinance?
Again, I'm gonna object, he didn't write it, he's just enforcing it.
Okay.
Same-
So
same
what
issue.
is before or about the residence mean? Where is before or about? How do we define that? Because there's residences before and about the town hall where I picketed after this ordinance. And you said, correct, that the town hall was not covered, even though there was residences around.
Can you repeat your question again, sir? I'm sorry.
So what is before or about the residence or dwelling of an individual? Before or about, what does that mean? How do you define that?
I would say if it's right in front of and specific to that residence, the activity, that would qualify.
Is there a distance?
There's no distance listed, this is the entire ordinance, sir.
Right, so that's what I'm trying to get at. So protesting, chanting, signage, are there any other, what else is picketing? What other elements are picketing?
I can't think of another one, sir.
Okay. And so were you you weren't at the first ticket thing, right?
And no, sir.
So I just gotta kind of cover the disorderly thing. So when you came on scene, you didn't talk to the calling party, but you did talk to the state police and you can't remember anything that they said, correct?
I don't remember them offering any new information or anything
No new
relevant.
information.
Relevant, no, sir.
And so at first you said that you gave me the disorderly conduct citation, and then I went back and ordered people to sing carols, correct?
COVID carol.
COVID carols, right. So, can we show this video? Because the carols, are you sure of that? Because, are you sure that somebody else didn't start the carols? Because you don't seem to have a good memory. I'm gonna be frank with you.
So what's your question, sir? I'm sorry.
My question is, when did I get the disorderly conduct? Did you hand me a citation for disorderly conduct ever? Or did you just arrest me for disorderly conduct?
You were arrested for disorderly conduct. You received a summons
For?
for the town ordinance.
So I received a summons for the town ordinance, I never actually received a summons for disorderly conduct.
That's accurate.
Did you ever ask me to leave the area? It's on video.
I don't know if I asked you to leave the area. I told you to stop doing the activity.
Stop talking,
Stop doing the activity.
stop doing what activity?
The
Picketing?
The picketing.
So you said stop picketing, or you would be arrested?
Stop the conduct.
Stop what conduct? So, I mean, can we pull up the video?
Let me, if,
Because I'm gonna impeach this guy right now.
so let me just understand the foundation, which means what you want me to see and why of this witness, or generally, because if you're gonna testify, my understanding is you also have a video from that date that is part of your interaction with this police officer?
It's the full interaction, yeah.
Okay, but a portion of it you're asking me to look at right now, or to show first this officer about his memory of what was said?
Yes, and I would like to submit all of them uncut to you for your own.
Okay, but do you have it on a,
I have it on my
drive?
phone.
well, you can't leave me your phone, I don't think. you
No,
can
but I
do
could
that.
download it
Okay, so
somehow or
let me,
something.
Attorney DeCroce?
I haven't seen the unedited version of it, I've seen the edited version of it.
Okay. So what's the edited version? Do we have that
I don't know what he
somewhere?
has. he must have all the videos that are up on my YouTube. You guys are telling me you're spying on my Zoom calls and probably recording those too, but you haven't watched the videos that we have as evidence?
I didn't say I haven't watched the video, I'm saying I haven't.
Okay, so how do you know yours is edited or not?
Because there's clearly stuff missing from one scene to the next. There's a
Could it have
gap.
been stopped and then started again?
So
Right.
what you have right now, how long is it that you want to show this officer? Or is it something you're saying, I want to admit as evidence, Judge, and I want you to consider it? Because that's a different issue. I just am trying to figure out what you're asking right now.
So I want to do that, but I feel like we need to refresh this guy's memory.
This officer's.
This officer's
Okay, why
memory.
don't
He's
you?
a guy. He's just a man. He's
I
not
understand that,
always a
but-
cop and only a cop. Just
He's
saying.
here as an officer of the law right now, so in any event, why
Is
don't
he
you
though?
pull up what you've got and show it first to Attorney DeCroce, and then I'll let you approach.
So yeah. Picketing and Sununi's house. So there's a 10-minute video and a 6-minute video, and the only reason they are split is because I started it to walk over there and ask him what he was doing on the scene, and he said he was gonna, so do you recall, sir, saying that we were all gonna be ticketed, all 15 people? Do you recall telling me that when I walked over to you?
I don't remember that. I might have said that, but I don't have a specific recollection of that.
Interesting. Sorry. So,
Everything good? Huh? Yeah, this is Staples. What's up?
Do you want to watch it up here with this officer in the interest of time, if we could do that?
that would be wonderful.
Your Honor, if this is the same 10-minute video, I have this.
Okay,
Great.
We can just show it on this.
okay.
Excellent.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Do you need to see it right
Fine, how
now?
are you?
Oh, that'd be great.
You can come and stand over here too.
Hi, good, how you doing?
Pardon my background.
Sure. Handshake? Cool. So what's happening?
Can we pause right there? Is that Christmas carols right there?
What do I say?
Well, they're
Hey. Sure. Handshake? Cool. So what's happening?
We're responding to, call.
What did they say?
Well, they're concerned about their teams.
Their piece
Yeah,
during the day?
yeah, they call, we came after the call.
Sure. So we are here protesting the governor. This is the de facto state house. He's running, we've already talked to elected officials. They said he's not covered by the town ordinance. I'm just saying, I'm stating my position real quick. And so
They ask you,
I can't control the volume of my voice. I have head trauma, and that's part of why I'm so loud. Okay? So I have post-concussion syndrome and head trauma. So I can't control the volume of my voice when I get excited.
okay.
I'm disabled. Partially disabled, whatever. I don't like to use it as this is
My point is, if you bring it down, that would help in our conversation. So I'm letting you know.
Sure.
I'm not doing anything other than.
Yeah, I'm just trying. I appreciate it. Thank you. So, elected officials have already told us, and we've already talked to council, that his house is not protected by the ordinance. Number one, his house is the de facto state house. He has conducted official state business from his house. Number two, the order has no elements to it. I mean, the ordinance has no elements to it. So if you're gonna try to enforce the town ordinance, is that what you're trying to do, or?
Can I respond to your question?
Sure.
So I'm not, I'm here trying to be responsive to somebody's complaint, their complaint. So just so you
So
understand.
if somebody,
Please finish.
sure. Okay. I'm letting you finish.
So that's sort of my baseline, what I'm trying to accomplish. I certainly am respectful for your First Amendment privileges. I certainly am.
So there's
No,
no,
look at-
sure.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
Just recognize what we're trying to do is strike that balance, because your interests, my interests no matter, but the people who have their concerns, they're on the same footing as
Sure.
you or any of your.
The neighbors, or one of these neighbors, it has to be one, because it can't really be anybody beyond that.
That's,
So they should maybe talk to the governor is what I'm suggesting.
Okay.
And and so this is what I would say, is to point them to talking to the governor and saying like, hey, this house is not covered by the town ordinance. We can peacefully protest. I haven't, I told you, my voice, listen, you can't tell me how to keep the volume of my voice, bro. I'm just telling you that I cannot control my voice, and you're not gonna tell me what volume to keep my voice. I'm not telling you how to train your voice or control your voice, okay? So, I can't control my voice. If you wanna arrest me for having a disability, go right ahead, okay? Go right ahead. So, can we continue the conversation? So,
can I make a point there?
sure.
Well, thank you. So, what I will lay out is, yeah, there's gonna be a point where it's not gonna be acceptable.
What is that point?
Well, we're getting, you know,
We're getting there because they're singing Christmas carols,
getting there.
Kobe carols, we're getting there? Well, how are you making that determination? By the calls? How many calls? Because I can do a Freedom of Information Act request.
Actually, I don't have that.
Okay, so you don't even know if you've had a call.
We know we have.
Okay, and what was the call about?
Again, there's needs.
Their piece, meaning what?
I think we're getting a little tautological here, don't you think?
No, because they're saying we're disturbing the peace. How? They have to, you need to be able to articulate yourself. And cite the law and the elements of the offense. And tell me how we're violating it.
Again, their peace is being disturbed, that's why we're out here. So
Whose peace is being disturbed? And by who? Just me? By my loud voice? Because I was the only one that was being audible at a distance,
So,
right? Am I correct?
So here's where we're at. Where we're at is, we're gonna start issuing substances,
For
for the ordinance.
the ordinance, okay, good. Let's do it. Let's go. No, let's go, let's get these tickets going.
We're giving you a chance to get out of here.
No, we want the tickets. We want the tickets. Nice try, though. Let's go, we're all getting tickets. Bring on the tickets. Bring on the tickets. We want tickets. Now we have to wait until our tickets are done. Bring on the tickets, guys. Let's go. Call it your bluff right now. Give me a break. Give us more ammunition. Give us more ammunition if that's what you want to do. You might want to contact McDonald and double check. Sorry guys, I missed the carols. What do you think it means, sir?
I don't think there's much more to this conversation. Well, I mean, this is the evidence, so we'll watch the full thing. Might jog my memory too.
Near to us, can be near to us. Oh, faceless fears won't let you get citations. I said, bring it on. Bring it on. Bring on the citations. Let's go. We're ready. I get citations. No, we want the citations because they are illegal. We need the citations. That's the whole point. They're in a catch-22. They are in a catch-22 position. You give us what we want. You give us those tickets. We want tickets. That's what we came here for. I'll just do another fundraiser and get the money for it. I don't think they're gonna have to be paid anyways. I don't think they're gonna have to be paid. So what's going on, guys? Are we getting our tickets or what? Calling your bluff. Calling your bluff. I was done.
That was important evidence, because you never once went over and said,
Calling their bluff. So they're like, oh shit.
Stop.
We-
You're being too loud, you're under arrest. correct?
What was your question?
You never came over and tried to say, this is too much, you're being crazy, you're loud, you're gonna be under arrest?
I believe that was in the first part.
No, when did you say it in the first part? You never said you will be under arrest. You said you're being loud, and it would be nice if you could tone it down a little bit. But when did you say you will be under arrest if you don't stop? In the next video, that's when. In the next video.
Okay.
Would you let him answer the question?
Okay, so hold on. Is that your question
Go
to
ahead.
him?
What?
Is when did he say? That's your question?
Yeah, when did you say you're gonna be under arrest the first time? Or to stop doing what you're doing, you'll be under arrest?
Let him answer.
Sorry.
That was in the conversation in the beginning about the ordinance and
Oh, let's,
what you're not allowed to do for the ordinance.
so earlier you're saying that you told me I was gonna be arrested. No, I said you can arrest me for being disabled. I'm not a
And
dog.
so I understand that this, I watched the video, I listened to the first part of the video, and so
So he's claiming,
I understand what.
False
his
things. He's a
testimony
liar.
is. Okay. All right.
I'm not done. We're not done. Oh no, we're not done yet.
All right, sir.
Believe that.
Next question.
So the next question is, when did you become aware of the complainant and the videos?
The complainant, I don't understand.
The person who called.
If I can look at my notes for the time received for the call, I mean, that gives me sort of a general idea of when.
Did she like transport the information over? You didn't have, what I'm getting at is, did you have that evidence when you came on scene? Did you already have the video evidence?
The video evidence of what was going on out there?
From the neighbor who called?
No, no.
So you didn't see that until after I was arrested, correct?
I've never seen video taken by a neighbor.
Okay, so you haven't even seen the video or wasn't even aware of it?
That's correct.
And you never went to talk to the neighbor?
I have spoken to neighbors.
At that call, during that call? You did, so. You are right.
Okay, it's his testimony, let him answer.
Please.
In the month of December and January, I have spoken to neighbors on Hemlock Court about the enforcement of the ordinance. I can't say specifically if there was those conversations.
All right, strike the question, never mind. So, how many other people got ticketed that day?
Nobody. Not that.
Why
nobody that I'm
didn't
aware of.
anybody else get ticketed that day?
I didn't see a need since it stopped after you were,
What stopped?
the picketing.
The picketing stopped when?
Soon after you were taken away.
After I was arrested.
Yes.
But you ticketed me before I was arrested, correct?
So back to the question, when did it stop? After you received the summons and after you were arrested, it stopped soon after?
It stopped soon after.
Yes.
And so why was I ticketed to begin with? If you weren't ticketing everybody, why did you say you were gonna ticket everybody and then only ticket me?
Seemed to accomplish what I was assigned to go do, which was to enforce the ordinance, to keep the peace and quiet in the...
Were you trying to make an example out of me?
No, not at all.
And trying to scare the other people and chill their First Amendment rights?
No, not at all.
No. So, what, this is just unbelievable. So, then, do you have the other video too, where I walk back, the second part, the 6-minute one?
I do not have that.
You do not have that one? The singled out video? May I?
Okay, so we want our tickets. You guys promised us tickets. Are we getting tickets or not? What?
Let's all
That
watch it
one?
together if we're gonna watch
Yeah.
it.
Do you know this?
Just-
Do you have that one or not?
No, I said I don't have that.
Okay, that's fine. I have it.
And I object, I've never seen it.
Okay, so he's never seen it, but give me a proper, tell me what the relevance, what you wanna either ask
The
this
relevance
officer
is to
about.
impeach this guy's lying and to jog his memory and to show exactly what happened and how he said, you need to stop. I need to stop what? You need to stop. If you don't stop, I'm gonna arrest you. If I don't stop what? And then I was arrested. That's what happened. Okay? He didn't say I needed to stop anything in particular or anything like that. So the relevance is to his orders that he just claimed he said I was supposed to leave and all that. Okay? This is
Okay,
to
so-
impeach him.
Okay, so let me just understand the purpose and the testimony. The testimony I've heard from this officer so far is that he did tell you to stop. You don't deny that he told you to stop because it's on the video, but he didn't say specifically what you needed to stop?
Correct.
Okay, and so, I'm not sure that that's relevant in the sense that he can, first ask him that question, right? If he acknowledges, yes, I told you to stop, but I didn't say specifically, and then if not, you can show me that
Okay.
portion of the video if you get to
Sure.
it.
So, what exactly was your lawful order to me before I was arrested?
You needed to stop. You needed to stop protesting, or picketing, excuse me.
You said you need to stop picketing?
I don't remember.
Well, you need to remember.
Okay, so, all
objective.
right, so, yeah. he-
Sorry. Well, I'm just trying to, let's, I mean, this is ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Okay, so, the question is, what did he tell you to stop for? And let me hear his answer. I missed it in that. If you recall.
He didn't finish, sorry. I
Okay.
interrupted.
If I can, the question you're asking is,
What was the lawful order that you gave to me prior to arresting me?
well, to stop raising your voice, to...
You said,
Stop
stop raising your
Let
voice?
him- let him
Oh,
finish.
sorry. I had head trauma.
Okay,
I forget.
I
I'm sorry.
understand
I'm
that.
apologizing.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
so when I ask you to stop though, just.
I know, I forget.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, go ahead.
This is what it is.
So you said to stop protesting, and certainly the picketing, the town, you need to comply with the town ordinance. So you were told you needed to comply with the town ordinance. You're clearly aware of the town ordinance. So I didn't go through that again with you, the town ordinance. So does that answer your question as far as?
Well, yeah, you said that you just said that you told me I needed to stop picketing and to comply with the town ordinance, which is not true, which is why we need to watch this.
Okay, and so I'm gonna first, before I make any ruling on that, I know your objection to seeing it. Are you gonna testify in this case?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're gonna testify, I wanna first hear your testimony of what you wanna tell me as opposed to that, because it goes to the credibility and the weight that I give everything, as opposed to trying to impeach him on what he said. First, you can tell me what you say he said, and then we can take up whether or not the video comes in and I give it the weight I think it deserves. Don't know that we need to watch the whole thing specific
It's
to
only
that.
6 minutes.
Okay, well, that one's only 6.
Yes, it's very brief.
All right.
And most honestly, there's probably 2 or 3 minutes after I was arrested. I'm arrested pretty quickly.
So let's finish his testimony right now, and then we'll go from there.
So, do you recall when I came to the town hall asking for clarity on the town ordinance? And you came out and gave me clarity?
I'm going to object. Is this before or after January 31st?
Yeah, just give
What's
them a
the,
time
so
frame
this,
of when you're asking the
so
question.
what's January 31st? Is that that was when I was arrested?
Yeah.
All right. So, this was after the fact. When I went to Newfields Town Hall, I hit the buzzer outside and I said, I need some clarity from somebody to explain how I'm not gonna get arrested or ticketed. I need to understand this town ordinance because to me, it's void for vagueness, 100%, but we'll get into that later. What are the elements and all that? Do you recall talking to me?
So just, that's the question, do you?
Do you recall coming out and giving me clarification on this town ordinance?
I object. It was after this date, so it's irrelevant.
Okay, and I don't think it's relevant to this date, this time, these allegations.
All right, it'll be supplementary
And
to my legal argument.
And that's
Gotcha.
exactly what it's for.
Awesome, all
Okay.
right.
Any other questions as to this date before we move on, because we have one more to get through?
No, well, so yeah, so what did I get arrested for that day? Exactly.
Disorderly conduct.
What was the disorderly conduct?
Continuing the conduct that you were told to stop previously.
The conduct is very general. What was the conduct?
Raising your voice
Raising your voice.
and violating the town ordinance.
When did you say, if you continue to raise your voice, you will be arrested?
Okay, so that question's asked and answered.
All right.
You've asked him that, he's answered that, so move on.
So yeah, we can move on to whoever.
Okay, are you done with questions of this officer?
Yes.
Okay, redirect?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, thank you, sir, you can step down. Can he be excused if he wants to?
I don't know, are we gonna need
Well,
him possibly?
That's your call, sir, if you think they're gonna call him in your case, or otherwise I excuse the witnesses if you don't think you're gonna call him.
I don't know if we're gonna watch that video or what,
Okay,
you know, so I'd
let's
like
have
to keep him around.
If you can, Officer Schwartz, if you could just remain just in case if you're able, thank you.
Absolutely.
All right, your next witness, counsel.
Your Honor, that would be it for the state regress.
Okay.
For this one.
Okay, for this one.
For this
Okay. All right.
Yeah, this
Move on
is-
to the next matter, the December 28th.
You mean, yeah, if you want to.
Yeah, well, we have 3, right?
2.
We have the January 31st ordinance, the December 28th ordinance, and the disorderly.
Disorderly and the
The
Those
31st
two- those are the
together.
same.
We're together,
Yep.
those were this.
Yep, and then,
28.
yeah,
Okay.
so we're gonna start that one now?
Sure.
Okay.
You want
Yes, I do.
to?
Well, what's my option?
Right, yeah.
Do I get it, is there another option?
No. Well, please, you get him testify and then get in that one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
You're
should we
right.
do that?
Okay, yeah, I guess we should. My apologies. Do you wish to testify in these before we move on with the December 28th one, or would you like to do it all at the end? That's totally up to you.
No, while my head's in this, I would like to testify to the best of my ability.
Okay. So the state is resting then with respect to the disorderly and the, yep, and the January 31st ordinance, and that is their case. Now, this is your case. Do you wish to testify?
Yes,
All
can I
right,
get up there?
Jeff, come on up, and I'll just, I don't think there's any other things pending, but you understand, sir, that you're not required to testify. You do have a Fifth Amendment privilege against self-incrimination, but if you do testify, you understand that you're going to be subject to cross-examination.
Oh, for sure.
All right, let's have you
He wants to go there.
raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm that any testimony or information you provide in this matter is true under the pains and penalties of perjury.
Yes, I do.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, if you just state your name for me again.
My name is Frank Negus Staples. My friends call me Footloose.
Okay. All right, with that, you don't have an attorney to ask you questions. I've heard the testimony in your cross-exam. So if you want to either go in order, I'll leave it to you. If you want to tell me about, if you want to start with the January 31st ordinance, we first heard about that, and testify about that, or I'll let you take it in the order that you want to, but tell me what you'd like to tell me in response to the testimony and evidence that's been presented, please.
Sure. So I had been ticketed with the other 8 people, the 9 people that all got tickets on the first thing, which we're about to get into. And we didn't even have signs or anything. That was a candlelight vigil. Okay, we'll get into that. But we kept going back to the cul-de-sac out in front of the governor's house after the fact, after those original tickets, and picketing in that area and trying to get tickets to challenge this ordinance, just like we saw in the video. That was the whole intention. So we went back multiple times until finally, this time, they threatened us with tickets. They said, we're going to give you tickets, right? You saw the officer say, we're going to give everybody tickets. But what did they do? They gave me a ticket, and me only, to try to make an example, right? And they didn't want to have to adjudicate all these bogus tickets, which is why we were there. So I went up to the Newfields officer when he came on scene, because he, instead of going to the calling party, went to all the state troopers that were there, the 10 or 20 state troopers that were outside. So the neighbor must have felt so unsafe with all those troopers out there standing guard. So dangerous with all these troopers standing guard, right? So Officer Schwartz, instead of going to the calling party, goes and talks to all the troopers. Starts talking to them, they're on the phone. So I'm like, what is going on? I go over and say, hey, what's going on? Oh, we're here, you know, blah, 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 whatever, we saw the video. And you said we're all gonna get tickets. But then you didn't give us all tickets, did you? You singled me out.
Okay, so you can't ask him any other questions?
No, I'm not asking him. I'm telling people what it is. That's the testimony. That's rhetorical. I wasn't expecting an answer. And so, and then I went and joined in with the Christmas carols, the COVID carols, right, which were excellent. They had already started. I did not order them to be done as was characterized. I joined in, and then we were waiting for these tickets. Like, where are these tickets? We want to get out of here. It's cold out here. This is what we were here for. We want the tickets, and we want to go. And so he's still over there talking to the state troopers. Still hasn't reached out to the calling party. Never did. And so I went back over there with Russin. And I said, hey, what's going on? Where's these tickets? And then he hands me the ticket. He says, oh, I have one for you. I said, just for me? He says, yeah, here. I said, oh, all right. And then there was a plainclothes trooper next to him wearing a mask and no identifying stuff. So he's smiling too. You can see smiling behind his mask. So I said, what are you? Who are you? Identify yourself. Who are you? Will you identify yourself? He refused. He just smiled at me through his mask. And then Officer Schwartz said, if you don't stop, I'm going to have you arrested. And I said, if I don't stop what? He said, if you don't stop, I'm going to have you arrested. I said, if I don't stop what, sir? If you don't stop, I don't, it might have been one more of those. And he said, you're under arrest. I said, I'm under arrest. For what? For disorderly conduct. Never once asked me to leave. Never said I was trespassed, that I had to leave. So it was a complete setup. He went down there with an assignment. He knew what he was going to do, and that was going to be to single me out for a ticket and then arrest me immediately afterwards under the guise of, oh, I told him to leave. But too bad it was all on record and you never told me to leave, bud. And you can't remember nothing. Can't remember nothing.
Direct your testimony to me, please.
I'm saying this guy's up here and he can't remember nothing.
Okay? I've heard you say that
You
a couple
know?
times.
Like, what is really going on here? He can remember anything that he wants to know, but he can't remember anything that's recorded on video.
Mr. Staples, I'm going to listen to your testimony, but I only need to hear it once. I have good ears, I'm taking notes. So, in the interest of time, you've told me that several times. Move on to the next thing. I understand your position and I've heard.
So yeah, I was singled out for a ticket, and arrest. Never once was I given a lawful order to leave the premises. That's all in the video. And, you know, it is what it is. He's a liar, and I'm done with my testimony.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, wait.
Oh, do you want to ask me anything?
Cross-exam?
Hey, so Officer Schwartz did tell you you needed to keep your voice down, correct?
He didn't tell me I needed to do anything, and he did not give me a lawful order that I would be arrested if I did not keep my voice down. No, he did not.
I didn't ask you whether he gave you,
I answered you.
at the beginning of that tape, he said you needed to keep your voice down.
Is that a lawful order?
Answer the question, did he or did he not say that?
He didn't say that exactly. He said, could you keep your voice down? It'd be nicer if you could be quiet. So it was more of a conversational thing. He never gave a lawful order. Nice try.
When did you guys decide to go there to get your tickets?
When did, who guys?
All your protesters on the 31st.
How the hell am I supposed to know
Okay,
that?
all right. Number one, we're not going to use profanity.
Is that profanity?
And that was if you know, please answer.
I mean, I've been posting every Sunday on Facebook for however long, so it's an every week thing. We've been doing it consistently every Sunday at the same time.
To go where?
To go to the cul-de-sac on that street, which is a little park. It's a public park.
What address do you put on your website to go?
71 Hemlock.
That's the address you're targeting.
Do we go on 71 Hemlock? No.
I didn't ask you that. I'm asking you, that's the address you're targeting with your protest, correct?
We're not targeting anything. We're targeting the town ordinance.
Okay. But
Okay?
you meet at 71 every time.
No, we don't. We meet at the cul-de-sac.
On your website, you put, come join us.
We don't
at
have a
70
website.
At 71.
I don't have a website.
Hemlock Court.
I don't have a website.
Do you organize the people to show up at 71 Hemlock Court?
No. I organize people to show up at the cul-de-sac. When have we ever stepped foot on his property? Never!
Okay, all right, that's enough.
You knew you wanted to get tickets on the 31st.
Obviously. That's what we were there for. I said that. We said, let's get the tickets. You've seen the video yourself.
You intended to violate the ordinance on purpose.
No. Oh, yeah, that time. What is the violate? If we can, how do you violate something that can't be defined?
And on the 28th of December, you were also there to target 71 Hemlock Court.
No. We're not targeting any houses. We never went on anybody's property. We're on public property the whole time.
Mr. Staples,
So-
Mr. Staples, I respect the fact that you say you have a head injury, but I'm going to remind you that you are very loud. It is very loud. Can you try to bring it down right now when he's asking?
He's asking me the same question over and over. He's trying to trap me in a question.
I
Like,
don't think it's the
stop.
same question. I won't let him ask the same
Okay.
question over and over in the interest of time, just like I didn't let you. So let's just try to keep
Where do you
it
live?
down.
Where do I live? In this body, right here, right now.
Where do you sleep at night?
In this body, right here, right now.
What's your mailing address?
Look around and find out.
Do you live in Newfields?
No, I do not live in Newfields. I live in this body, right here, right now.
And why are you so interested in Newfields town ordinance if you don't live in Newfields?
Because Governor Sununu had his minions create a town ordinance in order to target our lawful First Amendment speech. And he had his brother on the board. We got through Freedom of Information Act requests, through inside sources, they got proof that Sununu's administration contacted the town board to get them to start this town ordinance.
Single out an individual residence and target.
Does it say that? Where does it say you can't single out an individual
So I
residence?
think we're getting into the legal argument.
Yeah, we're getting into the legal argument. Nice try.
Constitutionality, so-
Why don't you go over to Elm Street on Newfields and protest there?
I have.
Why don't you go to Main Street and protest there?
Because the cul-de-sac is nice.
Well, who lives on the cul-de-sac?
No one.
Nobody lives there?
No, they live in houses around the cul-de-sac.
Who lives at 71 Hemlock Court?
You know who lives there. Governor Sununu lives there.
Okay. Why don't you protest in Manchester where you're...
I do. I protest everywhere. So what are you trying to antagonize me? Why don't you
All
go
right.
protest somewhere?
Mr. Staples,
Huh?
Mr. Staples, I don't want to have to take a break.
Well, what is the relevance of
Okay.
this?
So-
Why don't I protest here? Why don't I protest there?
Okay.
Don't patronize me, guy.
Mr. Staples.
Bring it on. Let's go. What's the
Mr.
next question?
Staples.
What's the next question?
Okay. I want you to answer the questions that we have. Do we need to take a break?
I don't know.
Well, I'm asking you.
I'm amped up.
I know.
I'm not gonna have this guy asking me irrelevant questions about
Listen.
why I don't protest in Manchester and this and that.
Mr. Staples, if you are representing yourself, which you are, if you want to lodge an objection, you say that to me and say, Judge, this is irrelevant. Don't
So I
just start-
object to the relevance. So I'm sorry, I didn't say I object,
But
but
you
what's
can't
the
keep
relevance?
going
Isn't that an
on.
objection in and of itself?
Not until you phrase it, so I know that you're
Whoa,
asking.
you can't
to
hold
ask
me
a
to the
question.
bar standards.
Okay, next question.
Next question.
On December 28th, was your intention to violate the ordinance then, sir,
December 28th?
of 2020?
Which one was that? That
That's
was...
the first one that we hear.
That's the first one. So, no, my intention was not to violate the town ordinance. That's the whole reason why we picked a candlelight vigil, because there are no elements of picketing in a candlelight vigil with no signs and no noise. And on the Zoom call, I specifically said, no signs, no noise. We're gonna be there, we're gonna have a quiet, peaceful candlelight vigil. We'll stand there, maybe do some prayer, and we're not gonna violate the town ordinance. The whole point is to not violate the town ordinance, but to still challenge it, the legality of it. That's made off a motorboat law.
And your meeting place was 71 Hemlock Court.
Did we go on 71 Hemlock Court? No. No, we did not meet at 71 Hemlock Court. Okay? And what's the relevance? Object to the relevance.
Well, I do find that relevant, and it's a fair cross-examination, so.
Sure, and even if we were targeting the governor's house, he's a public official. The state house was closed, and he was conducting official business from his house. but we never targeted his residence. We didn't throw anything at his residence or anything like that. Okay? So you can call targeting his residence all you want. We're targeting all the other residences just as much as his residence because we're targeting the town ordinance.
And you only target it at Hemlock Court.
How do we only target it at Hemlock Court?
Okay, so that's it. Any other questions?
I mean, there's no evidence of that.
No, I'm all set.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so why don't you go ahead and step down, and then this is still your case in the ordinance, the January 31st and the disorderly. So is there anything further before we move on to the December 28th date that you want to,
Just that video,
okay,
that 6-minute video, yeah.
okay? Anything other than that, we're good? So council, in terms of the 6-minute video, do you want me to, I understand you object because you haven't seen it. I am gonna allow it in, whether we all watch it right now, and I'll give it the weight I think it deserves, or it comes separately. I think my preference is that we just watch it, so we have it. And if you want to see it first, I'm happy to give you that opportunity, and we'll take a brief recess, you look at it, and then I'll look at it.
Yeah, that'd be good.
You want to look at it first?
Well, no, we can all do it.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so why don't you, is it only on your phone? Or does,
He can pull it, if he wants to go to my YouTube channel, he can pull it up.
There's no Wi-Fi.
there's no
in the store.
internet
Oh, I got it.
in the courthouse, so. And you don't have it on your computer, a bigger screen for me to be able to see?
No.
So what are we gonna do?
If you have it, pull it up, and when you bring
Yeah.
it up here, and we'll try to look at it. Or you've seen it, so mainly I need an attorney to approach to be able to see it. Yeah, if you can come around, that'd be great.
Rusty, come on. Okay, so we want our tickets. You guys
Can you
promised
turn
us
it, you know,
tickets.
what, make it bigger?
No.
Are we getting tickets or not? What? Yeah. Rusty, come on. I got Rusty with me this time. Rusty with me. Come on. So these guys, so he wants to talk again. What do you want to do, bro?
I have a son that fell in.
What about everybody else? Just me.
Now, I want you to understand,
So why am I the only one getting ticketed?
because I've had the conversation with you.
Oh, okay.
So,
Look at this guy. Who are you? Identify.
I thought we were
Name, hold on, no. I can identify people. What's your name? Badge number.
my point is,
Identify yourself.
if you don't stop,
If I don't stop what? If I don't stop what, sir? If I don't stop what? What? That's what I'm asking you.
raising your voice.
If I don't stop raising my voice, okay, so I can't control this voice, and I'm not yelling right. This is my normal baseline voice.
Telling you,
So is it this one or is it when I'm yelling? Is what I'm trying to clarify. This normal voice right now is gonna get me arrested. This guy is smiling, he loves it, he's eating it up. Who are you? Who are you? Can you identify yourself, please? Can you identify yourself?
So, would you, sir, would you like to hand your phone to somebody because, or put it in your pocket? You're under
I'm under arrest for what?
disorderly conduct.
For disorderly conduct. I'm under arrest for disorderly conduct.
Yep, not a problem. Disorderly conduct.
This guy won't identify himself.
I am feeling very insecure right now. That guy who will not identify himself. He's a police officer. We have to let him know.
All right, no objection.
Okay?
No, you did have a problem identifying
reflect, the court has reviewed the video, the 6-minute video is requested by the defendant in this matter, and that the prosecutor has indicated that he did not object to the court considering it overall as part of the evidence. All right, so let's move on to the last.
We'd like to invite you to visit freekeene.com. Freekeene.com features audio, video, and blogs chronicling the transition to a voluntary society. Freekeene.com also has comments and discussion forums so you can be heard. Freekeene.com.
I should be in Keene, New Hampshire with the Free Staters.